Hello, and welcome to Binge Watch. Yes, it's been a while since I've done this, and yes, I meant to do a different Binge Watch episode before the next Marvel Netflix show came out, but that didn't happen. So we're doing another one. It's going to be Marvel's and Netflix's Luke Cage, which just came out. So I'm going to be watching that, and as usual, uh, offering my thoughts and opinions on each episode immediately after each episode is aired and I watch it. So we're going to get to that right away. Just jump right in and have a little fun, and I will see you in a few. All right, so we've got episode one of Luke Cage down, and it started off a little differently than I've gotten accustomed to from Daredevil seasons one and two and Jessica Jones. This one started off definitely a little slower. It was a little more sedate in how it led into everything, and I really like that. The opening was also quite nice. The wonderful, all the backgrounds and the images of the streets of Harlem, kind of sometimes on Luke Cage's body, kind of in the background. It was very interesting. Definitely a lot of interesting characters, a lot of black culture uh, and history being uh, hinted at and shown in this one. Um, Not something that I personally am terribly familiar with, but it is fascinating the kind of the byplay going on there. And with Luke Cage being, a superhero and being bulletproof and all that good stuff. Um, Especially the end. The end of it is the end of this episode is very interesting in that uh, sorry about that in that when he defends the restaurant that the woman who owns it he owes money to because he's renting an apartment from her and she goes to give him money and wants to hire him and he has this really nice line that he's not for hire but not to worry he's got her, I've got your back kind of thing. I really like it. I like what they're doing so far. It's got this whole very much down to earth superhero vibe kicking off on it. So kudos to that. I'm happy for that, and we'll be going off onto the next episode right now. All right, so that's episode two down, and I am really liking what they're doing so far. They introduced a character in the first, or two characters in the first episode I didn't mention. There is a police officer whose name we find out is Misty Knight, Detective Misty Knight, the same woman that Luke Cage slept with in the first episode. Um, and her partner, I can't remember his name, but he is an actor that I've seen in a few things, and I've always quite liked him. He's always been a supporting character, but he's a very, very solid actor in that regard. Now, things have kind of hit a bit of a head here because there was a hijacking of money, and one of the two people involved was already taken care of, and then the second one was found out to be brought back. Luke Cage tracked him down for Pops at the barbershop, and it ended up being a bit of a hit on the barbershop, which was supposed to be neutral ground. And Pops died, and that is the moment that is spurring Luke Cage into action for this. So over the first two episodes, you've got Luke Cage kind of hiding, not wanting to get involved. He just wants to be left alone, wants to live a normal life. And then this incident spurs him into action. And I really like that build up. It seems to be a little slow at the beginning, but it's just that bit of a slow build up that suddenly ramps, and then you got that moment of his invigoration, his determination. Uh, the actor for Luke Cage, oh my God, I love him. I really like Mr. Stokes, aka Cottonmouth, and his character so far. There's a lot of really good, subtle characterization going on with these characters, um, and I really like it. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next episode. So we're going to go to that. I'm going to watch that right now, and I'll see you in a few. Okay, so a few things have happened in this episode, the third one, and I don't. Things are picking up. Luke Cage is definitely hitting the bad guys where it hurts. It's causing them to retaliate. There's there's some excellent byplay between the two detectives, and then you get to see a scene with the male detective partner, a detective Scarf, and I kind of twigged on it as they were talking because he's there undoing his tie and everything, and I'm like, he's going to strangle him, isn't he? He's going to strangle this kid that's going to be testifying, um, the one that was involved in the hijacking of all the money, and he did because he works for Cottonmouth, aka Mr. Stokes, and then Mr. Stokes decides he's going to go and stop Luke Cage for good because the detective let him know that Luke Cage was the one behind it. So now there's going to be some battle, and the episode ends with Mr. Stokes shooting a rocket, an actual rocket launcher, and wow. The interesting thing so far about this series, just in these first three episodes, it's not really playing out like a superhero show, and I really like that. It seems very, very realistic, very much, a good, honest man standing up to try and make his neighborhood a better place. It's got that sort of a feel to it, even with the vigilantism and whatnot. There's that continuing thread. Um, there's also been mention of a Diamondback. I don't know who he is, um, but Mr. Stokes seems pretty. Oh, pardon me. uh, Pretty terrified of him. It is quite late. It's currently like about midnight, a little after here, and I'm just hitting the third episode. I'm thinking of just going right through to the just watching it all tonight. I don't know. We'll see. I'm rambling a little long on this, so we're going to cut this here and head off to the next episode, episode 4, and I'll see you in a few. All right, well, episode 4 in the bag, and that's a flashback episode. Um, most of it is dealing with how Luke Cage became Luke Cage, how he got his powers. You also get to see how he met Riva, who is the young lady that Jessica Jones killed at the behest of Kilgrave. And some interesting things going along in that regard. So you get to kind of see how he became who he is, his time in Seagate Prison, all that good stuff. That's the majority of the episode. And it does a lot to flesh out his character. But at the end, that's where it really gets my attention. This is only the fourth episode in, and already at the end, the news crews are hounding him and wanting to know his name. And oh my God, how did he survive? And so on and so forth. So he goes and turns around and like pulls his little hoodie off, and he's all, "My name is Luke Cage," and he's all very, very confident. And what gets me, what I find fascinating is this is only the fourth episode in, and already he's he seems to be like coming into his own. And we've still got 9 more episodes to go, I believe, in this one. I don't know where things are going to go from here, but it's fascinating what they're doing. Um, like Daredevil in season 1 and 2, like Jessica Jones, this is playing out different from the other ones, and that is amazing. Good on you, Marvel. I'm enjoying things so far. Um, I don't know how long I'm going to last before I have to crawl into bed and die, but I'm going to try and get at least another episode in. Uh, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so that's the next episode down of Luke Cage. Things are getting interesting. Um, Starts out with a bit of an all-out war, sort of. Um, the bad guys going around causing trouble for everybody in Harlem and saying, "You go ask Luke Cage about it. Go ask Luke Cage. That's why we doing this," and getting some people pissed off. So Luke, of course, decides to go and start talking to some people and settling things and making some headway on that. Then you've got possible investigation into the detective scarf by IAB. Oh, weird things happen. There's some fun stuff with weaponry going missing. Pop's funeral pops up, and both Mr. Stokes and Luke Cage show up. Both have a few things to say. Um, Luke Cage seems to have embarrassed the criminal uh, kingpin uh, at the funeral there, so that was kind of interesting and amusing. But the most amusing thing I found in this episode, the most interesting thing is how much it made me laugh. There was a lot of really genuine humor kicking around in that. And best of all, Rosario Dawson shows up. She's back. The night nurse. She's like right at the beginning. You see her walking down the street. Someone tries to jack her purse. She chases him down, kicks the shit out of him, and gets her purse back, which I loved. That was amazing. Um, and she has a bit of a discussion on and off with her mother and has come to the realization that she may want to help people with abilities, which is kind of her thing. Like she's the night nurse in the original Marvel. Sorry, I was about to say DC. The original Marvel continuity. She's the night nurse. She helps people with abilities. It's what she does. She's the one that gives them medical attention when they can't go to the hospital. So it's definitely interesting. I'm quite stoked to see the next one. And despite the fact that it's 2 in the morning, I'm going to watch the next episode. Uh, I may be crazy, so we'll see. I'll see you again in just a few. Okay, so we're back. That's episode 6 now in the can. Um, yeah, I don't. It's very hard for me to figure out um, how to describe these episodes because kind of similar to things in Daredevil and Jessica Jones. You think they're coming to a head. You think it's like it's all building up. Oh my God, it's almost over, but we're only 6 episodes in. Um, Mr. Stokes, Cottonmouth, has been arrested. Um, Detective Scarf, sadly, has died, though not for not for lack of trying by Luke Cage and Claire, the night nurse. um, and there's the whole problem of the police, the people in charge, the powers that be, towards the end being afraid of the headlines and whatnot. So yeah, things are kind of getting interesting. Uh, I'm a little concerned about the councilwoman that is the cousin to our crime boss. I I'm wondering if there's not something going on there. I'm also wondering if there's not something involved with Misty Knight there. I think she may have some sort of abilities herself, in a manner of speaking. I don't know. I don't know. But yes, we'll be watching the next episode in just a second. I'll see you again after that, though. I think that's going to be after I take a nap because it's like 3 in the morning here now, and I've been up for a while and I'm getting a little tired. So I'm going to go and grab myself a little bit of nap, and then we're going to continue watching Luke Cage. I'm really liking it so far. Um, so yeah, I'll see you in a few. Well, episode 7, and I am aghast at what just happened. I did not see that coming for the life of me. There's a lot of backstory happening here, some flashbacks and whatnot involving Mr. Stokes, Cottonmouth, and his cousin, um, who the councilwoman that the two have been together, and you get to see the woman that raised them, Mama Mabel, who was a bit of a big player back in the day. A lot of stuff going on there, and some interesting byplay with Luke Cage because he finds out Cottonmouth knows about his past, and so he's kind of like, I have to run. There's also a little bit going on with Misty Knight. There's a new captain. The old captain, lost her job or got reassigned. New captain in the place, and she's kind of feeling her way through, wondering what's going to happen. So all this stuff kind of comes to a head, and yeah, I wasn't expecting it at all. I don't want to spoil what happens in this, but I was not expecting the events that occurred. It took me completely by surprise. Didn't see it at all. I am quite interested to see what comes next. So, on to the next episode. All right, so that's episode 8 down, I believe. Um, yeah, things are definitely getting interesting now. Um, Somebody new has shown up. We finally learned the identity of Diamondback, or sort of. Um, I'm not 100% sure if that's real or not, but this fellow seems to be, uh, if it's true, it seems to be Luke's brother who's shown up. That's Diamondback, the mysterious Diamondback. And he's shown up and shot Luke with one of the Judas bullets right in the gut. And it didn't kill him, but it's put him in some serious pain. And the entire episode has been spent, more or less, Luke trying to get away from him, some things going on. Misty Knight seems to be coming off the rails a little bit. Um, there's some fun there. I'm really liking all of the characterizations that's going on. Shades, the mysterious Shades who showed up. he's um he's getting in good with Mariah, um, the councilwoman. She seems to be trying to regain her footing, but I don't know. Things are getting dark. Things are getting very dark right now. This episode ends with Luke getting shot again with another Judas bullet in the shoulder and getting carted off in a garbage truck. I don't know if it's going to be, if I don't know how he's going to survive because he is pretty beat up. But I suppose you need something like that when you've got a man who's bulletproof. So yeah, gonna be watching the next episode. I'll see you in a bit. Uh, Things are getting interesting. Okay, so next episode down. That was very interesting. Things kind of moving forward, kind of heading toward an end game, I believe. Um, Luke and Claire have gotten out of the city and have headed back to Georgia to find the doctor to hopefully help Luke get better. He did attack some cops though, and that video's gone viral. Uh, Mariah is currently working with Shades, trying to get her um, power greater while denying the criminal nature that she came from. Um, there's definitely something going on there. She doesn't want to be like Mama Mabel. She wants to push that off. There's a lot of very deep, very intricate personalities going on with these characters that I really love. It it feels very, very natural and very, very realistic in how they're being portrayed. Um, I quite like it. Uh, I don't wanna spoil too much because we're getting into that good part. We're getting into the good part here, but I like what they're doing with this one. The stakes for this particular uh, season, pardon me, for this particular series, Luke Cage, it doesn't feel, it feels very personal, very small, closely knit, and and that's a good thing. It doesn't need to be like some huge, massive end of the world. Oh my God, we have to save it. Um, I like what they're doing with Netflix. Uh, I definitely do. So we're gonna watch the next episode, and I'll see you in a few. Okay, so uh, yeah, there's a lot that's happening in this episode. I don't want to spoil, uh, but there's some interesting developments. The stuff that we find out about Riva in this, wow. Uh, the doctor that ends up there, yeah. Luke's back together. He finds some interesting things um, out about himself, or remembers some interesting things, I should say, and heads back home. And meanwhile, back home in Harlem, oh my God, there's some stuff. Oh, especially with a lot of the issues these days with the police dealing with uh, minorities down in the states. For for this to happen in the show, a young kid who we've seen in the earlier episodes uh, ends up, because he knows Luke Cage, one of the cops tries to beat a confession out of him, and yeah, it's a very oh my God moment in this particular episode. I'm kind of surprised they went there, but in a way, I'm kind of not. Very, very much in keeping with the rising tension and the escalation among all of the players in this. So it fits in nicely to the narrative. But wow, well done. Gave me chills. I'll say that much. So we're going to go on to the next episode, episode 11. There's only 3 more episodes to go, I believe. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you in a few. All right, so only 2 episodes left. That one was down. The standoff at the club is now over. Luke Cage has been arrested, but he did manage, mm, pardon me, did manage to get most of the hostages pretty much saved. Saved Misty. Uh, Claire was actually called the night nurse by one of the bad guys, which was kind of amusing, and she helped keep Misty from bleeding to death. I remembered reading something. I was poking around, wondering about Misty Knight. So I was poking around a little bit at the uh, internet, and they said that she has a bionic arm. Well, one of her arms was shot, and Claire like tied it off, and she said there's a possibility, unless they get medical attention, that she could lose the arm because she's literally stopping blood flow to it. So I'm wondering about that. she might end up losing her arm and getting a bionic one, which would be kind of cool. Um, but yes, there's Striker Diamondback has gotten away into the night. Um, Luke Cage has been arrested, and the police now have uh, some of those bullets that can actually hurt Luke Cage, but they're of a lesser variety. But there's this whole thing about maybe pretty much anything that the police or the military get eventually dissipates to the streets, and there's a couple of people that are extremely worried about that, including the new chief. Uh, I don't know where things are going from here. Only 2 episodes left. There's going to be a confrontation. I can see it coming. Um, so yeah, on to the next episode, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, everything is coming to a point. One more episode left. Diamondback is, I think he's pretty much gone off the deep end, more or less. He seems to be, he was always a little unbalanced so far, at least everything that I've seen, and now he's more so. He's got some sort of a bulletproof suit on, possibly with the punching gloves that he's been using to frame Luke Cage a little bit. Yeah, it's pretty messed up. Um, Mariah Mariah and Shades, uh, they ended up Diamondback tried to kill Shades. Shades survived, killed the ones that were going to try and kill him, and has teamed up with Mariah. So they're kind of working together. And those two approach Luke Cage with a kind of a truce, basically going, you help us, we help you. We both don't like Diamondback, blah, blah, blah. And all of this episode was slowly guiding towards this point at Pop's barbershop, which is all nice and fixed up, then gets destroyed again, and Diamondback comes in, ready to fight Luke Cage. So this is going to be like the big battle royale, I guess. Over the last episode, I don't know. Looking forward to it. Everything about this episode, or about this season, this series, Luke Cage, has been very down to earth, very personal, very, very realistic, and uh, dealing with issues of not only black culture, but uh, simply like culture of living on the streets as well, like in that type of a neighborhood of Harlem, where you've got disenfranchised people and so on. It's rooted in that culture and everything, and it's amazing. There's a lot of callbacks to uh, historical black figures and so on and so forth. It really it's really interesting. It's grabbing my attention quite a bit. Um, that may be what's bringing the very personal feel to everything. That it's rooted in real world things, and it's not just all superheroes, but it feels very very close and personal and down to earth, and I like it. I like it a lot. So we're going to go to the last episode, and I will be back in a few to tell you what I think of it and the series as a whole. See you in a bit. Hello, and we're back. That's right. It's all over. The last episode's done. We had it was a little strange the way it ended, but in a good way because the big battle royale that all happened in like the first 15 minutes or so, and then it was done, and then the entire rest of the episode was kind of I believe the literary term for it is the denouement, where it all kind of slowly ties up all the loose ends. Um, the bad guy was arrested, Diamondback, anyways, uh, but uh, Luke Cage was proven innocent. Uh, Councilwoman Dillard there and Shades, however, got away. They got off. What was going to be labeled onto them. She is definitely moving right into what her mother, Mama Mabel, um, was, and kind of accepting that. Shades is her partner, right hand man. Not 100% sure on that. Probably partners, if the symbolism was to be believed. And good old Luke and the night nurse are possibly hooking up. Um, except the U.S. Marshals show up and go to bring him back to Georgia because he did escape from prison. However, Claire was going to contact a lawyer she knows, a really good one, and the old guy, the old chess guy, um, that was in quite a number of the episodes, found the file that Mariah Dillard tried to entice him with. So I have a feeling that Luke isn't going to be back in prison for too long before he's exonerated and heads back to Harlem to do his thing. So yeah, all in all, it was a fantastic season for Netflix. Um, very much in keeping with the same style as Daredevil and Jessica Jones. Very down to earth, low street level heroes, as well as very personal. Um, Everything was very personal, very gritty. I quite enjoy this feel as compared to like Agents of Shield and the other Marvel movies. So very good. It's definitely a different dichotomy. Next up, I believe, is the Iron Fist, Danny Rand. Definitely going to be interesting to see that. I've seen a little bit of a teaser about it, as well as a little bit of a teaser of the Defenders. So yeah, I'm not sure how uh, Iron Fist is going to work into things. I don't know what that's going to be like. This one is definitely very much steeped, as I said, in black culture and black history, and absolutely fascinating uh, because of that. Uh, so yes, if you liked the other ones, you're probably going to like this one. Uh, Definitely worth the watch. But yes, I've got other things that I need to be filming today because I'm trying to do not only a binge watch episode, but my usual episodes, my usual three on top of it. I think I'm a little crazy for doing that, but anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you check out Luke Cage. I hope you like it. If you like what I'm doing here, please give that like button a tap. Give that subscribe button a tap as well if you haven't already, so you can be kept apprised of when I do new videos. Usually try to get at least one video out a week, if not more. Uh, Usually when I do a binge watch, it's the only video, but I'm trying to branch out a little bit. And throw a comment in the comment section. What did you think of Luke Cage? What did you think of all the actors and the characters and whatnot, and the characterization and such? They kind of did his original costume early on with the yellow shirt and the metal tiara and everything. It looked pretty amusing. But yes, throw that comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Let me know of any other series that you think I should be doing a binge watch episode on. One of these days, one of these days, I will get around to doing a binge watch episode that's not one of Marvel's Netflix. But that day is not today. So do all that. And until next time, my friends, you all take care, and I will see you around.